Hey everybody, welcome to Drive Thru Review 197. Today I'm going to talk about Gunrunners. This is a game from Dr. Finn's Games. He's done Biblios and Scripts and Scribes Dice, if you're familiar with those games, which I was a fan of. And this is a game where you're sort of like, I don't know, ATF agents, FBI type agents, trying to track down people that are running guns in various different countries and trying to do the best at that, and also sort of like, there's a lot of bluffing and card play and things like that. So let me show you how it works, and I'll come back and tell you what I think of it. Okay, let's take a quick look at the components here. You can see I've got these crates here. These are basically crates of weapons. You've got small ones and big ones. The big ones count as 5. And then these are going to start off on these locations here. So you can see your Southeast Asia, Middle East, North Africa. And then at the top here, you've got a sort of a round tracker here. Not really a round tracker, but throughout the game, these busts will happen. And then the game will end if you ever get to a 7th bust, or the game will end once all players run through all the cards in their deck. And everybody has a deck of cards, and their color with various numbers. Some of them have special abilities. So you can here's the blue deck. So you're going to place this at the top of the locations, set your little round marker there, and if you're playing 2-player, the setup is slightly different, but otherwise the game is the same. And then you've also got this warehouse here, which you'll place some excess cubes. I'll talk about this in a minute. So you have the round tracker, some locations based on number of players, and then the warehouse. So the first thing you're going to do is roll the die to see who's going to go first. And then each player is going to take one of their agents that is a 1 that doesn't have any text on it. You're going to take it and put it face down anywhere to the left of these locations here. So everybody's going to put an agent next to a different location. And then to start the game, each player is going to draw 5 cards in their hand. And basically you have 2 options on your turn. You can either play an agent here to this side, and these are called probationary agents, sort of agents in waiting, if you will. Or you can play an undercover agent to the right side of the board here. Now, when you play an agent to the left side, to the probationary side, you're going to place it face down, and you have to put it where you don't have one of yours. So right now I can't put this agent here. I could put it here, let's say, and what's going to happen, I'm going to replace this agent here. He's going to slide in. This one's then going to flip up here and then move face up to the right-hand side of the location. Now, if for some reason all of these are your color, so let's say it works out so that nobody else has played to the left-hand side and the red one's here, then you can play to one of these locations because you really don't have an option in some senses. Also, if you're playing your last card of the game, you can play on top of one of your probationary agents if you so choose. Now the other option is to play an undercover agent. You can take one of your agents here and put it on the right-hand side. And as agents get placed on this right-hand side, you're going to make sure to keep the order intact because that's important for breaking any ties when we go to score these different locations. Now the other rule here, as far as the undercover agents go, is you can only ever have one undercover agent here. Again, these are face down that you play. You can't ever have 2. Now there is a card that will let you break that rule, but for the most part you can just have one undercover agent. So a couple of key things to keep in mind now. Some of these cards have little abilities on them. These abilities are only going to trigger when they are flipped up. So let's say this blue one was here, the green guy comes in and he plays this guy, and then this blue ability is going to flip up. So it's the green player's turn. He played this agent, but now the blue player is going to be able to do whatever this ability says. And these are a lot of cool different little abilities. Some of them will let you actually roll a die here to attack another agent. Some of these, this guy says, secretly look at any undercover agent. Remember, those are the face down on the right side. So secretly look at any undercover agent, place it face down into any location. So maybe he flips up. So he's competing here right now with red to try to win these. And so he could take a look at this and say, okay, well, I'm going to take this, I'm going to move this over here, so I'm a little bit more clearly in the lead there. Some other abilities here. This one will let you move a face-up card from one location to another there. This guy here will actually move 2 crates from one location to another, so you can actually move the crates there. This gal here, secretly look at all probationary agents, the probationary again's on the left, and place them in the locations of your choice. So basically you can look at these and then reorder them how you want, which is pretty interesting. And then here's the guy that lets you have a maximum of 2 undercover agents in play. So while this guy is face up, you can actually have 2 undercover face-up agents. So if he gets destroyed or something, or you score this and he gets discarded, you can still have the 2. You just can't, place any more ever. And this guy will actually let you roll a die. You choose a target guy. So let's say I choose him. And so I roll this, and I'm going to win no matter what, because if you equal or greater than the number, then this guy will get discarded. So it's easier to discard, obviously, the low number agents, and harder to discard, the higher number agents, like a 4 or 5 or a 6. But, you want to get rid of the higher one. So that's a cool one. And then again, this guy lets you look at the undercover agent and move them. So what you're going to do on your turn simply is you roll a die, and then you take a look at the number here. So this is a 6. In this case, if we rolled a 1, 2, or a 3, we'll take a new crate and then put it on there. So let's say we rolled a 3. But if you roll higher than the number of locations, in this case 3, so if you rolled a 4, 5, or 6, then we will place a crate on this warehouse here. So let's say we rolled a 6, and then we rolled a 5, and now we've got another one here, and then we rolled a 3. So we're going to place one here because we hit the 3, and then anytime you place you roll for a legal placement, then you're going to take everything that's accumulated on the warehouse and also move it there. So this will kind of act as a little bit of a queue to build up and then put a large amount of crates on the location. The other thing is, if you ever have more than 5 crates on this warehouse here, then you're actually going to distribute them 1, 2, 3, 1 on each. And then you're actually going to roll. So once you hit that limit, you've got to sort of disperse it a little bit, and then you do your normal roll. So after you roll and place cubes on there, you're going to start to see that some of these locations are going to be more and more valuable, because you're basically trying to intercept and capture these weapon crates here. So after you roll and play some cubes, then you can play a card. You either play a probationary agent or an undercover agent. And you're going to keep doing that until you have 4 face-up agents at any one location. So through the process of triggering and moving these agents around and things like that, you're going to start to accumulate face-up agents over here. So let's say, boom, we've got our 4 face-up agents here. We're going to immediately score this. So we're going to take a look at these numbers on these cards here. So we can see blue has 4 points worth of agents, and red has 3, and green has 4. So we have a tie for first. So in this case, we're going to look at whoever has the agent closer to the location there. So in this case, blue has 1. So what's going to happen here, let's just put some more cubes here to make it more interesting, is the winner is going to take half of the cubes, and then they're going to get those. So in this case, we've got 8 cubes. So then blue in this case would win 4, and then second place will get half of the remaining. So in this place, green would get 2, and then red would get half of the remaining there, so they would actually get just 1. So you're going to take and keep those, and these are basically the points for scoring the game. After you have a bust, you're going to move up the marker here on the bust track, and then you're going to take and put 2 cubes on the location that you busted, and then 1 on each of the other locations. And that's it. Like I said, you're going to play till you get to your last bust, or everybody has played every single card in their deck. Okay, hope you enjoyed the overview. This is a very light, quick playing game. We played this a couple of times in a lunch hour. The box says, what's the box say? Box says 30 to 45 minutes. That's probably about right. You can probably definitely get it done quicker, especially as people kind of learn how the game flows out and everything like that. I have played it with 2, 3, and 4. I'm not sure what my favorite way to play it is. 2 works good because you can definitely keep track of what agents they've played, and as you kind of learn, those special abilities, which aren't too dramatic, but they definitely do have a meaningful impact on the game. And that's really part of the game is, when you put down a probationary agent and then flip up a card, you're like, ooh, I don't want to flip this card up because this may be going to trigger something bad for me. But, maybe it's in a spot that I'm not really into, so I don't really mind flipping it up, but that event or the ability text may do something to adversely affect me. So in a 2-player, you can kind of keep track of that and gauge sort of which locations people are going for, because like I said, as those cubes build up, that's going to be the one that everybody really wants, because you're going to be able to get more cubes that way. Now with 3 and 4, especially 4, one of the rules says that after you score one of those locations, all of those agents get discarded. And I just remembered, I forgot to say that when you have 4 face-up agents there, any undercover agents that were there are also flipped up and revealed as well. So that's a whole little extra layer of bluffing. But you're going to flip all those up. You leave the probationary agents on the left-hand side down, but you discard all of those agents that you score. Now the rules say that put those away so that you can't look at them. In a two-player game, that's not really a big deal. And it's really going to depend on the group. I don't really care back and forth, hidden information versus open information. To me, it's just a different way to play the game. You know, some days I'm in the mood for hidden, some days I'm in the mood for open. It just kind of depends. But with a 4-player, it's going to be a little bit crazy to try to keep track of everything, at least for me. My cognitive capacity is not as great as some, I think. So if you just go and put all those cards face down that you just scored, then you're going to be like, okay, did the blue guy play the number 5? I know the green guy did, but the yellow guy, I don't know what he did so far. So it's going to be kind of hard to keep track and make, you know, decisions that way. And, you know, something comes along and distracts you, something comes up and talks to you, and you're like, oh, what happened? You know. So I think you could house rule it for sure, especially with more players, to leave everything face up. Now, in a 2-player game, that's going to be bad because it's just going to get really deterministic. And I like that you have to kind of keep track of everything in that case. But I really like the game. It's very quick. It's very light. You know, he's kind of sort of I don't know if he's the king of the fillers, but he's made really good fillers with Biblios and Scripts Inscribed Dice and now Gunrunners. But it's definitely nice because I really like the bluffing aspects and, you know, sort of trying to maneuver and maybe you kind of give up a location for a little bit, knowing that you're going to build up a foothold in, you know, another spot, but then again the dice are going to kind of determine where the juicy points are going to be. So it's very quick and very, you know, not super meaty at all, but the theme of it, it's just, you know, it's a silly kind of, not a silly theme, it's a cool theme. You know, you're trying to track down people running guns, and, you know, you've got secret agent, sort of James Bondy kind of thing. It's very light pacing of that. It doesn't really fit the mechanics, but it's definitely a pleasant play, you know, especially as a filler. So definitely one that I would take a look at. I know it's small. Again, I said it's very quick. You can play it a couple of times in an hour once you get the hang of it. So that is Gunrunners. Thanks.